was a hot day, the sun was hurting my eyes. I was bracing myself for a Saturday night, focused, hot and ready to take it on. There came a ringing on the telephone. She said, I'm thirsty and I've nothing to drink. Could you come over here and make a stop on the way? You think I drank all of mine, but I still feel like some more. If you bring my juice, well, blow your mind. It's cool. And it all seemed okay. It's not like I'm making it every day, but I got an issue if you drinking me dry, so I'm gonna have to scratch you, honey. Bye, bye, bye. From the east side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. East side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. East side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. The story does go, the candy girl sticks it way up in her nose. Where she goes, folks are watching her go, stick it in the dirt, way up in her nose. Take it back, hear the slap she's hitting on the floor. She's got no emotion, but she knows the need for more. Always getting smashed, but she never knows high. Second get distance in, out she go, bye, bye, bye. From the east side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. From the east side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. East side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. Goodbye. This state of play's massive. I'm sick of being passive. There's a lot to shit around, but that's making me aggressive. Too many drugs, kitty chug-a-lugs, the same old pubs with the very same mugs, the same dirty huts with the same dirty bugs. Getting down, upside down, friendly on the rug. The same old dirty sluts with the dank old pubs like jugs. I'd rather get down with you, bendy on the rug. I don't really care if you're super modern fine. If you ship me with your shit, I'll give you less of my time. If you show my head with hassle or you're drinking too much wine. If you ship me creepy Charlie's running up and down my spine. When you're up in my face, spitting laced with lies, I wanna fly away and crawl and curl up tight and die. No girl should make me think of words like I and I. Sorry baby, this is gravy, no more maybe. Bye, bye, bye. From the east side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. From the east side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. East side, from the east side. Bye, bye, bye. East side, east side. Your mum's from the east side. I saw your mum over on the east side. She was selling fun to the kids. I saw your mum over on the east side doing favors for all the pigs. We're all from the east side. I saw your mum on the east side.
We go. Hi. I started to speak and then I realised I had stuff in my neck or throat. Using a new microphone today, so first order of business is to check and make sure that I am audible. Can the humans hear me, please? And if there's a noticeable difference, a bettering or a worsening of my sound. Anyway, g'day you mob. How are we? What is going on? All Things Fish was first cab off the rank in the chat. I'd like to send him a bucket of kudos, but he's streaming at the same time, so we'll ship that bucket of kudos today off to Paddy Shaddy for being next in there with a looks like almost a compliment sandwich. Sick, good word. Bastard, I'm assuming that's the negative. And then a hearty kind of face smile towards the end. That's what I call a compliment sandwich. No, hang on. It goes the other way, doesn't it? You got to do negative things and the compliments in the middle. Yeah, that's right. Forget that. I'll edit that out later. Joel G, how are you, mate? G'day. BJ, what's going on? Myrtle. My olfactory system is playing me havoc. Thanks for slinging those links around in Bentley Stream, Rids. Appreciate that. Sound is good. Thank you. Thanks, folks. Where was I? Mike Kinseth. How are you, Mike? Nice work catching live. Alec the Nice. How you going, Alec? Welcome. First timer, I believe. Discus for parasites with Seachem Metroplex. I don't have any advice for that. I've not kept discus or used that chemical, but fingers crossed either guests that might show up may have answers, or fingers crossed the knowledgeable brains trust here in the chat may have advice and pointers, tips, and the like for you, sir. Chalupa, no tomatoes. Or tomatoes, if you like. How are you, Trav? Welcome, Mississippi Hippie. Good to see you again. I think it's been a wee while since you've graced us with your presence. Natural Aquariums, how are you, Natural? Scary Terry. Longest intro ever. Funny you should say that, because I've been threatening for months and months and months to actually do the full long version of my intro song instead of the 17-second version. I've been threatening the viewers for a long time that I would do the length of the song with the intro animation behind it. So that was my crack at it. There's a few black spots in it because the rendered size that it came out at with the colourful video playing the whole time was a little bit too big for StreamYard to take. So I had to cut out a couple of the clips, and that made it fit. So very good. Natural's got heat. Surprisingly too, for winter, it is quite a warm day here as well. I might even be forced to take my slippers off at some stage during the stream. Joel's a long intros too. Yeah, he lets those intros roll. If we're talking about the same Joel, I'm sure we are. Mickham, how are you? Stephen P, 2003. How are you, Stephen? Oh, yes. Everyone do as Mike says and hit the bloody like button. Always acceptable to change your mind, Natural. Everything's pretty good here, thanks, Trav. It is okay. It's clear skies, limited breeze, not so cold, certainly not hot. What you'd expect in the winter around here. It reminds me of some Tool songs. Do you mean the song that I sung in, or the one where I just make noises? I just make stupid noises. I go wee blah, woo, blah, 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 blah. Young Ones reference. Any Young Ones fans out there? Alexi Sale, very, very funny comedian from the 80s. Indeed. Unit. What a unit. I'm in Australia, Terry, down under the everyone else. And yeah, being, what is it, the 2nd of June today. So what are we? I can't remember whether May starts winter or June starts winter. Hang on, February's the end of summer. March, April, May. So June, yeah, we've just started winter. June is the kickoff of our winter. And yeah, it's this lovely chilly weather is my favorite time of year, when we know we've got the prospect of colder weather to come. Apparently, I mean, all the predictions with La Nina are telling us that we're going to have quite a warm winter. Which I think even last year, I think we would have been lucky if we had 9 days of winter surrounded by a really long autumn and a really long spring. Oh, actually, the spring wasn't. Yeah, actually, it was a long spring because we didn't get a brutal summer either. Quite a mild summer and quite a mild winter. Bloody global warming and all that, innit? So anyway, yeah, this stream today probably won't go as long as other ones, because I do have some driving obligations this afternoon. Pardon me. So yeah, you know, we'll get at least an hour in. maybe an hour and a half. Kind of hoping that Scungy turns up soon. Whoops, I thought I clicked on something then, but I didn't. G'day 503 and Sunfish for Fish. How are we? Hopefully Scungy turns up soon after drawing. We'll show some pictures off. Hopefully Joel rolls along soon. I've sent out a couple of other invites for guests to pop up if they so choose. And time will tell if people are going to turn up or not, I guess. Now I can't even remember the band. It's not the Beatsteaks, but they sing that na. It's just a movie. It's not the kind of thing that I like. Crikey, what was that band called? And actually, I don't think it is. It sha-na-na-na-na? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just na-na-na-na-na. Oh, well, that's a good test. I was actually testing to see if my awesomely technological soundboard system was going to transfer the noises to the microphone, the new microphone, which apparently people can hear me on. So, oh, Terry, you're on the wrong streams then, because it gets thrown about here willy-nilly. Tell you. So yes, won't be a super long stream today, but gosh darn it, I say that so frequently and then end up on here for 3 hours. So yeah, we still might get 2 hours in, but crikey, probably not. Maybe. Thanks, Shanna. Super Blood Moon. Did you get a bit of that last week? I don't know if it was visible in the Northern Hemisphere, or was it the wrong time of day? I guess it was the wrong time of day when it occurred. Or does it still occur the same night for you guys? Interesting. It was pretty good, pretty decent. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera to film it, and the substitute camera that I had was broken, or something was wrong with it where it just couldn't focus at all. Yeah, we had some issues with cloud too, BJ. It was it was a little bit overcast, but it was luckily it was just wispy bits of cloud that were wafting across. Alien World Aquatics. G'day, Scotty. That's for Paige. You can have one too. I have no qualms about kissing a good-looking man like yourself. No, I think most of my viewership, Terry, is stateside. A few English people, Mickham's in Sweden, occasional Norwegians pop in as well. I think Mickham's Sweden, right? Surely my memory doesn't fail me that. Wait. Share the sunlight. I share the sunlight. It's plenty for everyone. Just about how burgers are you? Asking for a friend. Just about how burgers are you? Sunfish, you're potentially going to have to rephrase that with words in an order that I understand. How burgers are you? Asking. Oh, I'm so confused by that question. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River, Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the sunshine, blowing on the breeze. Those ones. Crikey, now you're all doing it. Oh, crikey, is there more than one lot of Blue Ridge Mountains? Or do they span multiple states? Whoppers, yeah, I know Whoppers. But what are they called over there? Burger King is called Hungry Jack's in Australia. And they do the Whoppers down here. I don't mind a Whopper myself. G'day, Vinoxky. How do? Natural Aquariums lives in Dr. Black's basement. I wish we had basements down here. You know, it's a very, very rare thing that Australian houses have basements, unless they're built on a slope and you have an underneath too. But yeah, I love the prospect of a room in the ground under the rest of the house. Pardon me. I think this is the first decent one today. Live and love. That's right, Natural. If only I had a basement. I'll start digging a hole. I mean, after all, a decent sized hole is just nature's basement, isn't it? Maybe. Might be a stretch to get that. UFO disclosure is coming soon. Ooh, I'm intrigued, Scotty. Does that mean you've got a new UFO video coming out on your channel? Or are the government going to tell us some stuff about the UFOs? Or UFOs? Zipgun, g'day. How's it going? Oh, God, Scotty, we've even got... Oh, what's the show called? There's a reality show that follows bloody gold miners around. Might even just be called Gold Diggers. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of people who invest a lot of time and money into small-scale gold digging operations. Gold digging in the traditional sense, not the modern version. Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh, you'll have to keep me posted, Scotty, on what goes down there. Definitely interested in seeing what comes out of the pipes. Yeah, well, I think, Terry, that's the biggest concern with digging basements in Australia is that some 90 to 95% of our population are very close to the coast. So there's potential worry that if you dig a few meters down into the ground, you might encounter water table or a lot more moisture than you need in a section of your house. No doubt there's like modern sealing agents to seal out water and stuff, but I think that's potentially the biggest reason. G'day, Gaffer. How are you, mate? I accept both, Gaff. No worries. Plenty of rainbows around Australia, Terry. There's obviously quite a few locals. I get the... what's it called? Crimson... I think they call it crimson spotted rainbow fish, but I think it's more of a stripe than spots, isn't it? And yeah, there's all the blue eyes, the pseudomoogles as well. There's a couple of local species to me of them. Oh, hi there. So yeah, potentially I can go down to a creek and drop a net and catch some pseudomoogles, but I have to go a little bit further north. Oh no, I get the crimson ones. G'day, GRB. I get the crimson ones, but to get any of the fancier ones, I have to travel a bit further north into the slightly warmer climate where there's quite a few species. I don't think we have quite as many rainbow species as the Pacific Islands, like Papua New Guinea and Southeast Asia and stuff, but we've got a few. We've got a few. Ah, yeah, Zip Gun, obviously the same situation as us. We're a little bit close to the water's edge. You dig too far down, you're just going to be in mud. Also, lots of flood-prone land as well, I guess. Not only water table as a threat, but yeah, flooding. You're just going to fill that thing up, and it's not going to empty out without a big pump. Multi-squamata. I think the reason a lot of rainbows are getting cheap is because the last 10 years has seen an awful lot of people getting into them and breeding them. Their popularity has skyrocketed. So, yeah, potentially a flooded market means very, very cheap prices on your fish. So, yeah. Yeah, I can go to any number of my local creeks. G'day 3G. Drop a net in and get some nice crustaceans, prawns, shrimp, and gudgeons. Always nice fish. There's a few different. Probably gudgeons are the most populous types of fish that I get around here. We have a few different types. And smelts and a few other things. Mosquito fish, of course, you've got to lub your gambusia in there. Yeah. Yes, lots of breeding. Didn't you do drawing today?
Yeah.
Didn't bring any stuff in with you. Oh, Rocky. Is that Mrs. Dr. Black? I guess so. Yes, it is. It's Scunge Princess Stephen P. You may remember her from previous Have a Beverage with Blacky streams. She is not very fond of being on the camera, really, as a rule. So, yes, when I point the camera at her, she smiles. But when I move the camera away, she goes at me, kind of. Whoops, I didn't mean to throw that there. I wanted to put that in the bin. But that's Scunge Princess. Follow her on Instagram for awesome art and stuff. And with a little bit of encouragement, she went and got her art from the car. Because that's one of the things we do on this stream.
Will you show me the face that you say that I do when the camera's not on me?
No, you'll have to watch the replay.
No, you should just show me now.
No, where's the fun in that?
That's where the fun is.
Scungy was away from the camera. Ah, Scotty and Paige saying that is beautiful. Paige says she doesn't know why Sarah doesn't like the camera because she is beautiful.
It's because I'm awkward and weird.
Also, I guess speaking of new microphone, is the microphone picking up Gunge Princess's voice when I talk. May I please have that fly swatter? I don't like this soldier fly on my screen unless he's on my... maybe I'll try and make him go to the camera. There we go. I just made him fly away instead of murdering him in cold blood. My clock is set to New Zealand time, is it, Joel? How do you figure? I'm intrigued. But yeah, hopefully that answers Paige's question, Scotty. That Sarah knows that she's beautiful. She's just awkward
not
and
what I
uncomfortable.
I chose to ignore the other part because it just made me feel more awkward.
Yeah, I may have paraphrased what she said or even added extra words and stuff in or something. What am I a doctor in? Says Mike. What aren't I a doctor in? Look, I've got no experience, but I'll have a look at it for you, I think is my general response to that question. I am what's known in the in the industry as a PhD. I mean, a fake doctor. I don't know how I got those two mixed up. Ah, right. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, Joel G. That's funny because I can't see the clock face on my screen. It's behind a piece of on-screen writing. Yeah, well, no, I believe the saying, Joel G, is even a broken clock's right twice a day. Something like that. But yeah, it must have been. Oh, yeah, it was. It was exactly 2:47 mere minutes ago in New Zealand, and that's what the clock said. You've got a keen eye, Joel G. Probably because youth is still on your side, or something like that. Oh, right. I can't watch that right now, Scott. Yes, Scotty, definitely do it. I have kept many praying mantis as pets in the past. Ah, Sharpie. There's a name I've not heard in a long time in this stream. How are you, mate? What was I saying about? Oh, yeah, praying mantis. I've kept heaps of them. They are awesome to watch stalk and eat and hunt and kill. They are such an awesomely designed predator. The only downfall with praying mantis is they have a considerably short, what do you call it? Lifespan. Some praying mantis don't even get to live a year. And most of them max out at about 2 years, I think, from memory. But that does also remind me, I have some awesome old footage of one of my old praying mantis that took on a massive locust / grasshopper type thing that was bigger than itself and ate the whole thing and could barely move afterwards because its back end was so big and heavy and just it couldn't even climb its stick because it couldn't lift all of the weight that it had put in its belly. But yes, definitely super enjoyable, fun to watch, and I don't know what other adjectives I can apply to them, but I always enjoyed them. And I hatched out bajillions of babies of them too.
They're quite adorable.
They are very adorable. And you look at some of the the micro species or some of the giant species from Southeast Asia. There's some very, very pretty ones. I think we get 3 different species around here, and only one of them is considered a giant praying mantis. But even they, you're lucky if they get 5 or 6 inches long. Females tend to be shorter and stouter, I believe, and males can be very long and thin, and only one of the sexes flies. Can't remember if it's the males or females. I'd probably go say it's probably the males that fly. Yeah, some of those orchid ones are divine. And who I think, is it Cassie's Critters? I don't know if she still does YouTube, but she's 6, the number 6, SEVYN, and then the number 8, I think, 678. I think she keeps a few little tiny micro praying mantis that are very, 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 very pretty. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting compromise, Sharpie. If you can't get a praying mantis, get a mantis shrimp. I think they live longer, at least. You might get a few years out of a mantis shrimp. You also might get a broken tank if you don't have good glass. Bad batch if ever there was one. Am I, Paddy? Paddy, I don't know if you were here earlier, but you got the bucket of kudos today, even though you were second in the chat. Mike from All Things Fish was first in the chat, but he's streaming at the same time, so I'm kind of loath to send a bucket of kudos to someone who's not even sitting there watching. I did not, Mike. My camera was at Scungy's house, and the replacement substitute was faulty and could not focus. So my best bet was my binoculars. I have quite a lovely pair of binoculars, and it did look really awesome through the binoculars. G'day, Chewy. But then one of my sons came up and wanted to borrow my binoculars because he'd had his car running for 20 minutes, warming up the, what do you got? Hood, the bonnet. We call it a bonnet. You guys call it a hood. Warming up the bonnet of his car so him and his girlfriend could lay back on the bonnet of his car and watch the moon. So, me being the nice guy that I am, I let him take my binoculars and deny me the pleasure of watching the moon. Let's, speaking of that, son, I just had a message sent to me from him, but I can't do that because I've got to do this.
My beard's all scratchy, bruh.
Yeah, mine too.
I should have shaved today. I didn't shave today. I look all dirty. I look all dirty, brother, but I am dirty too. I'm also covered in dirt.
Wouldn't have you any other way.
That's right. That's how we do. You know what's weird? I was listening to John Mulaney today. He was talking. He was being interviewed by Conan O'Brien.
Who's John Mulaney? I need backstory.
John Mulaney? He's a comedian. Oh my God! You don't know who John Mulaney is?
I don't believe so.
You're gonna have to look up his comedy specials. They are pretty good.
Is it Maleny?
Let's see, John Mulaney, something like that. I don't know. I put it in our private chat. But yeah, he's pretty famous. He's pretty famous in the States. Maybe he's not famous in Australia yet, or maybe he just hasn't broached your periphery or whatever. I've probably
heard hundreds of comedians in my time that I don't remember their names, but
right. So he's a
I
tall,
definitely do
he's a
like
tall, skinny
comedian recommendations.
He's a tall, skinny drink of water, and he is known for wearing suits all the time. He's always like snappily dressed, and it's because in his words, he was saying that his parents were super old timey growing up,
Yeah,
and so they like instilled all these weird things in him, and one of them was like that you got to be dressed, to the nines, kind of deal. Like if anyone's going to take you seriously in life, you better be tie, jacket, put together well,
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about it that I was like, legitimately, if I had the cheddar, you know what I mean? If I had the cheddar, the cash flow, I would probably wear a suit very often. Probably.
I think they're
there's
always
there's a big difference between the suits that like you and I normally wear, right?
Normally wear.
When I'm saying normally wear, it's like, oh, we got to go to a wedding or something. You know what I mean?
Man, I own a jacket and it doesn't even fit me anymore.
That's what I mean. Like they never fit. You know what I mean? Like the clothes I wear day to day, they fit because I wear them all the time, but I'm always covered in dirt and grease and whatever. But then I was thinking about it. Like if I had the cheddar, I would have like snappily fitted suits that, they're tailored correctly and they fit correctly. And you'd be like, oh, that's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like if you had really comfortable suits, you just wear them. You know what I mean? And then I was thinking about it. So there's a football coach, American football coach, that he wanted to wear a suit on the sideline all the time. Like he wanted to be dressed up on the sideline.
Yeah.
But he was like, this is impossible. You can't wear any of this stuff. So Nike made him like suits out of like athletic material.
Tracksuit gear.
Yeah. And it was like, oh. And I realized that like I would probably have to get a suit made out of like work, the canvas pants that I wear all the time and stuff like that, like the work pants, the dungarees, whatever you call them. I don't know what you guys call them. We call them Carhartts here, but that's the brand, but it's like made out of like duck canvas or whatever, it's made out of like old military tents, I think, military surplus tents. I don't know what the heck it's made out of, but yeah, I was like, I don't know. And I was thinking about that and I had nobody to share that with. And I figured you at least would have a chuckle about me thinking about dumb stuff during the day today.
Well, I totally agree. If I had the cheddar, I think I'd be off to the tailor once every 6 months or so just to get a new suit rigged. Because nothing beats a tailored suit on a gentleman, does it?
That's what I'm saying, man. You don't have to be in good shape. If you have a tailored suit, you look good. Like,
the right tailor can be considered a magician with the magic that they can do with some fabric and measurements, appropriate measurements.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my God, people are saying hi to me in your chat. I just opened it up. I gotta say hi to all of them. Should I say hi to all of them?
Yeah, better. I mean, I already did my highs earlier. So
you did your highs? Well, Scary Terry said hi to me, so. And Mike Kinseth did too. Okay. No one else did, but those two. So hi. How are you?
I beg to differ. I'm sure I saw more people saying hi to you.
Those are the only two I noticed right off the bat, so I figured it would be fun to poke fun at them. Oh, plus chat. Why is my chat set to top chat? We got to fix that.
Lunatic. I missed that question from Sharpie.
YouTube
How goes the Yowie and Bunyip breeding? It's in a lull at the moment, Sharpie, due to global warming and corona pandemic.
Man, I haven't seen Sharpie's models in aquatics in a long time. What's up?
Me neither. I mean, I saw him in chat on someone else's stream a couple of days ago. And but
illustrious return, maybe. Or maybe they just got tired of me and don't show up at my live stream anymore.
Well, I guess the biggest drama with those northwestern European type people is that their times clash so severely with ours.
True.
So we can never be on the same clock as everyone at once.
That's right. Well, that's why I try to do the early shows now in the States, because then it's only like, 8 p.m. in the UK or whatever.
Yeah, I think yesterday morning I turned up to your live stream just in time for it to finish.
Yeah. That was kind of late for me. I'm not sure. I think I did that one about 3 p.m. my time, so whatever the hell that is, your time. I don't know. It's weird.
G'day, Alyssa Bentley and Paint Crazy Ola. Another new one. We've got a few new names in today, which is great. I love seeing new people in.
That's always nice.
And welcome very much. Welcome very much to you.
Hey, there's 503 saying hi. What's up? And then Joel G doesn't even know who I am anymore.
The other Joels. It's the Joel battle. Just so you know, Corvus too, that Scungy is here.
Hey, Scunge, what's going on?
Not a lot.
What are you doing?
She's
Sitting here.
I was thinking about Scungy on Sunday because somebody had emailed me about would I do some art or something, and I had to break the news on him that I was like, look, I don't want to be mean to you because it's not how I'm trying to be, but I don't think you can afford it. And it's not because I'm that expensive. It's that they're competing with all the other jobs I got to do right now. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I really would like a nice day of just doodling with some buds, That would be fun. I got to see if a couple of my art buddies will come over and we'll just do a doodle party. Maybe I'll live stream it on like Twitch or something.
A doodle party.
I know, that sounds awesome, a doodle party.
Yeah. You get out all these I have all sorts of wacky art supplies. Sometimes I bust them out,
I know in the States doodling is just drawing aimlessly, but we also call penises doodles down here.
Yeah.
What do you think I'm going to draw with? Well?
What do you think I'm going to draw with, bud?
Now you're talking.
Yeah,
that's
doodles just means
goofy.
Party. Yeah, doodling just means goofy drawings.
I think it's much more intriguing to dip the tip of your penis into a pot of paint and see what you can come up with.
I mean, it would literally be,
especially in a group of other men.
It would be what do you call that? I mean, it's more performance,
I mean, I'm sure there's many different kinds of doodle parties that go on in football locker rooms.
That's right.
But, no one wants to see that. People want to see painting with penises.
That's right. They want to see we all want to see a finished product. That's what I'm saying. We want to see a finished product that could be hung in a gallery. Right?
Yeah, because when the linebacker finishes, then the running end he starts. So it's just this endless circle of finishing without actually getting anywhere.
Should we check your browser history? I think that's on your.
Sharpies drawing gentlemen's vegetables with gentlemen's vegetables. That's only if you're doing still life. Sharpie.
That would be. That's true. That's accurate. Oh my God! Hey, my friend got this for me because it was a late birthday present. I don't know if you can see this.
I can see that. My nephew carries one of them around with him.
Yeah.
That's I had to ask him what it was when I first saw him, and he said, "Oh, it's my drink bottle." And then he said, "It's a torch from Minecraft." And I was like, "Oh, of course."
It's a torch from Minecraft. I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so funny." She's got a good sense of humor. She's my super nerd. My other super nerd conversationalist. like legit getting into the nitty gritty, you know.
Oh, that was, you have done a very impressive segue there, sir.
Oh yeah,
we had an incident last week.
We
Scungy
did?
brought it up. I think it wasn't. Was it after last week's stream? Yeah, it was after last week's stream, and we were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, nitty gritty is considered a racist term.
Is it?
So,
Where?
do we instigate an "is it racist" segment on this stream? It might lose us a few subscribers and whatnot, but yeah. What was it from? I'll let Sarah tell the story because I'm sketchy with details.
Well, what happened is I got an email from trying to remember who it was from, maybe like the company that I have my website with or something like that.
Yeah, it was from Big Cartel.
Yeah, they were saying, you know, the topic of the email was like, you know, you can get into the nitty gritty of setting your shipping prices or something like that. And then, you know, an hour later, they sent an apology email that said, we're really sorry that we used that term and blah, blah, blah. Apparently, it's really racist. And even though we were ignorant of it, that doesn't make it okay and all of this stuff. And so then I was like really intrigued to know why it was racist. And I looked it up, and the information I could find was that it may have been a term used to describe the debris in the bottom of slave ships.
Nits and grits.
Yeah. But in everything that I was reading, it was like it never was getting used as a term until well after slave ships. And there was no definitive thing that that's actually where it came from or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm literally looking at it right here. So like phrases.org claims there's no evidence to support the suggestion that nitty gritty has any connection with slave ships, saying the phrase isn't even recorded in print until the 1930s.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it lists the earliest example of the phrase existing was that nitty gritty dance by Arthur Harrington Gibbs.
So yeah, I don't know, but
yeah, I don't think
any information that it actually seemed to be very much, you know, clearly.
Yeah, it's never one that I've ever heard was racist, but I think so every like article I'm seeing here is from Europe. They're all European. So there's like a UK here, there's a Scottish one, there's something else. So like, I mean, it's possible like maybe in Scotland or something that like it might be considered, but like there doesn't seem to be any evidence of that being a term before
the early 20th century.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem to have existed earlier than the 30s, I guess. The idea that the phrase nitty gritty is somehow connected with the transportation of slaves is unsupported by any evidence. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it might be somebody just, I don't know. Somebody's taken a big wild leap there, and it doesn't seem like there's anything to like really back that up. I mean, you guys know I am all for eliminating things like that could be harmful to somebody, you know, without me intending to be harmful to them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy to tell somebody they're a dipshit, but I normally will just direct that at them, you know, and like, you know, if large groups of people are being affected by my language, I do try to correct things that have like real negative connotations. Like a good one that I'm trying to get rid of now is like somebody being gypped, right?
Is that racist too?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's that you're being ripped off by gypsies. That's basically where it came from. So it's like
right.
You're basically saying that all of the Roma are gonna steal from you or something, you know, and it's like, oh, that's a large group of people that you're kind of casting on, you know, you're casting dispersions on a large group of people that, you know, you can't just be not your ethnic background or whatever, you know what I mean? I guess maybe you could leave or something. I don't know, but like it's weird to throw that kind of stuff out there. I try to do my best to eliminate those kinds of things, just because, I mean, you could be creating a harmful situation on somebody that you don't even know you're doing it, So it's like I try to stay up on that stuff, but I've never heard nitty gritty as something having anything to do with the slave trade or whatnot. And considering how steeped America was in slavery and everything, I've spent a good amount of time trying to clear that stuff from any of that kind of stuff from my vocabulary and stuff, so but I've never heard that. That's weird.
Yeah, I use both of those terms regularly. Gypped probably more so than nitty gritty.
I like to get down to the nitty gritty of it, but yeah, gypped is one that I'm trying to get rid of. That's one that's that one's 40 years of saying that and it not really being that big of a deal, for me.
Well, I think
I'm like, oh man, you know what? That's kind of sucks for people that are like, look, why are you making fun of my group of people? Like, what's the deal here? So.
I think the world can thank Borat for bringing the gypsies back into ill repute. I think people had nearly forgotten about the gypsies until Borat started with his fear of the gypsy.
Oh, well, I mean, more so, in Europe, because that's where, most of the Roma live. It's where they most of them are. I mean, the U.S.
Wait, aren't they called the Romani?
Yeah,
Roman with a Y at the end.
Roma, I think it's Roma. I think, as far as I know, they're sort of they're the people that have no homeland, and which sucks. I mean, that sucks for anybody that's in that spot, but I try to do my best, but I've never heard the nitty gritty thing. I've never heard that being considered a racist thing.
Well, it's not like the snowflakes to jump on a really loose bit of evidence and roll with it, is it? The snowflakes never do that.
What?
He hears something and then roll with it like it's the fact, the be all and end all.
Well, everybody does that from time to time, regardless of your affiliation, I think.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah,
just sort of takes the wind out of the sails of my terrible joke, though, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, flat earthers. I mean, come on. I make fun of those guys all day long because that's an option. That's optionally stupid.
I like how some of the flat earthers are expanding their theory now about, it's not necessarily entirely flat, but there's this bit that does this, and they've almost got it down to they've almost got a scientific definition for how it actually is. It's not just a flat thing; it's got all these other bits that are.
Well, it's the unfortunate part is that people have been pushing them to like, okay, make a model of that then.
Yeah.
Show us how this works. Because you're just saying, because they're always just saying things, like, well, I took a picture with my camera and look, it's flat. And you're like, okay, well, I guess let's get into how cameras work then, guy, because apparently you don't know how they work,
Is that called time-based correction or something? Or is that for vertical lines? Or am I just making words up?
I recall that being a thing, but I don't know. I'm on like 3 hours of sleep today, so I'm not really all that great. I'm not all that great, and luckily I don't have to debate you on it. So, otherwise I would have gotten more sleep. But you know how it is, right?
So I got a new microphone. Does it sound okay to your ears?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Fine. I wasn't going for fine. I was going for awesome.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't want to pump up your ego too much and be like, shouting from the heavens how awesome your microphone and your voice sounds. It's, like rainbows in my ears.
He doesn't need you to do that for him.
It seems like your level is much. So, like on my mixer over here, you're much higher, and there's less background interference than normal. Did you get a new microphone? Is that what's going on?
I did, yeah, and
Huh.
it's like one of those clampy ones that has a swing arm and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
So potentially one of the things might be that it's not because it doesn't have multiple contact points with the table. It's not getting all these extra vibrations.
Yep. Yeah,
But
mine's. I mean, mine's like mounted to over there at the wall.
But yeah, it was super cheap, and I thought, why not just experiment with that amount of money I can afford to piss fart
Well,
around.
it's actually like
see if it
microphones is one of those things that like people are like, oh man, the microphone's like super expensive, and it's literally like, I mean, you could do even as low as like $40 or something like that, and significantly improve your audio quality, like in a very, it's like, oh, $40. Yeah, okay. Or $30 or $80 or whatever. It's it doesn't take too much to get an upgrade from your standard microphone that's on any of the equipment that you normally have. On top of the fact, especially when you start to compare it with like, oh, I'm going to get a new, it's like I'm going to get a new camera for my stream. It's like, oh God, like that's catastrophic how much money that is. The microphone's like the best upgrade. I always recommend people to get something.
Well, I actually when I started shopping for the microphone, the Jason from Perth Cichlids recently bought a pack which had the arm and all the other doodads and whatnot, and it had basically the same microphone in it to what I would normally use, an Audio Technica, which belongs to that guy. And to get that microphone in a pack was like $250 to $300, depending on where you shopped.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's a bit too much of a heavy investment for this guy right now. So I went with one that was just like $50, maybe just a little bit over 50. Are they those little lapel strap-on your collar ones?
Yeah, these guys are Australian. They're Rode. I use tons of the Rode microphones for stuff.
I used to have one.
They're Australian.
Studio mic. Are they really?
Yeah, they're Australian for microphone.
I didn't even know that. Well, maybe I did know that. No,
you could drive over there and be all like, "Oi, mate, need a microphone." I don't know. Is there like a good way to say microphone in Australian?
I just say Mike because it's my name.
That's true.
It doesn't confuse me then.
True.
And saying Michael-a-phone is a little bit.
So would you end up going about $80 or something, or did you go
a little bit lower?
About $50?
Yeah, I think it was around $50. And because I'm an Amazon Prime member, free delivery, and I was here within like 36 hours, I want to say. My last few Amazon purchases have been instant.
Yeah, blazing fast. Some dude just comes running out of the bushes and throws the box at your door and disappears into the night. And you're just like, how did that happen? Okay, all right, whatever. It's happening, I guess. Yeah.
And when he's dropped the parcel off and he's running away, he's just going, Bezos said you wanted it.
Yeah, he just screams Bezos as he runs off into the brush. Bezos! It just takes off. Yeah, I mean, I do have to admit, because I live so close to some of the hubs, in
the tech hubs.
Some of the stuff before COVID, they had implemented 2-hour delivery here.
Wow.
And so there was literally an option that you could click, I'm only shopping 2-hour delivery products. And it was insane where you'd just be like, I need a a jar and the thing and something else or whatever, you know. And it's like within 2 hours, it's like a box shows up at your house, like some guy sweating his ass off, like heavy breathing.
So it's like road delivery as well, not airborne delivery, not drone delivery.
No, I mean when that
Wow.
if that ever happens, I mean we're all in for, I don't know, we're all just be broke, you know. The reality of
Bushfires are bad enough. You imagine the amount of people that are going to be sitting on their back decks with a crossbow shooting down Amazon drones as they're delivering products.
Yeah, I would imagine that's going to happen from time to time, but I'm sure that they'll employ anti-theft stuff, you know.
Oh, that's an interesting point, GRB. We might have to investigate that at some stage today.
What's that?
See how it... GRB says the audio sounds awesome and we can hear Sarah really well too, both the same level. How does it pick up guitar sound?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Sharpie's Models and Aquatics says we have a gypsy family in town. They drive an Audi and have a large, expensive house. In that case, I'd happily be a gypsy. Well, it's always nice. It's always nice when somebody's doing well, you know.
I think according to Borat, those gypsies probably ate the original owners.
Oh, Lord. You know, Sacha Baron Cohen, I so go back and forth on that guy from time to time, you know. But I was listening to some of his, while I was working, some interviews with him came up. Some of the like kind of candid, like, you know, some more candid interviews. Like he's just kind of on some podcast.
Sorry, say that last bit again.
Like he did some of those more candid interviews where he's just like on a podcast, you know.
And it's just him.
And just him talking with somebody else who's famous, you know, and he's like pretty chill. And kind of like, yeah, I could tell how people like this guy. It's pretty clear. Like, yeah, I mean, he does definitely push the line, you know, but you could see like, he seems like a pretty thoughtful, genuine dude. So you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I can see how this goes down.
I think he's a very intelligent lad as well. Goes in his favor.
Yeah, he seems pretty smart too.
He's definitely in touch with modern society and in touch with himself as well, which is good.
Yeah, Scary Terry said, yeah, it's not racist. I've lived in North Carolina for 20 years and have never heard that being associated with racism. And I'll tell you, if you're going to see it all in North Carolina, I'll tell you that. So you'd be pretty steeped in the lore, you know.
Yeah, they don't mind a bit of racism down there. Is that what I'm to understand?
I mean, I don't know if they don't mind it. I think it's just happening.
It's just part of the zeitgeist in their neck of the woods.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so hot here. It got hot. Summer has arrived.
Well, just a day ago, according to the calendar.
Legitimately here, it arrived with a bang. It's like 80 something out all yesterday and today, and it's like ain't nobody ready for it. It's just like,
well, we had our
have not acclimated to the weather warming, because I tell you, like just last week it was like raining, windy, you know, not that hot out, but then it's like the last 2 days it's just okay, here it is. Whoa. So
we're into our halfway through our second day of winter, and we've actually had 2 reasonably warm days on the trot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're going to experience a very cold winter this year, which has already been predicted.
Oh, you don't think so?
I mean, I did say earlier in the stream that last year's winter was about 9 days of cold weather, and the rest was quite mild and tolerable.
Yeah,
I expect that we will have something very similar again. But then again, our summer was also the same. Our summer was not such a brutal summer that we have experienced recently. It was also quite mild, very few days, got up into the 40s.
Oh, so your summer wasn't super hot. It was kind of chill.
No, unless I'm just forgetting the hot days. Maybe I block them out of my memory.
It's best to do that. You should just.
Oh, that's true.
thinking
Yeah,
about
Scungy raises a good point that we did have a lot of rain during our summer this year, which is it used to be the regular thing, but say the last 10 years, a rainy summer has not necessarily been a thing, but this year it definitely was. We had considerable wetness in the
moisture.
in the summer. Moisture. Yeah, that stuff. Anyway, Sarah's going to try and see how the guitar goes for microphone sound, and I'm going to go and wrestle a crocodile.
You're going to go wrestle a crocodile?
And I'll be back shortly, and maybe we can talk about the Bad Batch or something. Or show some art. I've got a pile of Sarah's art here we've got to get through as well.
Both.
Hang on, I'll do this one. Point it that way a bit.
Don't do that.
Oh, don't do that. Okay. I'll go back over to here then.
You can silently play from off cam.
Yeah. That's right.
What song are you going to play? Are we going to get copyright strike?
That's right. Probably.
Well, it's not monetized, so I don't think you can get a copyright strike. You just get a copyright claim, which is fine. That doesn't ruin anything. Oh, Mike Kinza says I'm not ready for the heat either. Camping trip to the mountains is needed. My camping trips to the mountains are scheduled, so I can't wait. I cannot wait. 3 weeks. 3 weeks before I go. Let's see. Let her rip.
Can't now.
Huh?
I haven't played any guitar for a really long time. I got blocked from it.
You say you're blocked.
Yeah.
Let it drip. Yeah, it's going to be, let's see, 3 weeks from Thursday. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Off to the woods I go. Somebody emailed me today about coming to their fish room in Chicago to film.
Did you say too windy for me? Thanks.
Too windy for me, brother.
Yeah, that one. Do that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it's one of those weird things that like I want to go flying around and film some people's fish rooms and stuff. I just don't know when that's going to be appropriate.
Just come and do mine if you like. I'll tidy up before you get here, I promise.
Oh God, it's so far.
I might even clean my toilet for you.
It's so far.
That's a callback for the regular viewers.
That's right. Well, Scungy will clean it.
While she's, I was going to say while she's looking up music on the internet, but she's found the one that we like.
Oh, was that the one?
Oh, g'day, Tropico. I missed saying g'day to you before, I think, mate.
Scary Terry's in North Carolina. I don't think you'll know where I'm going. I'm in Washington State, so it would be confusing.
Natural aquarium set. I'm off to doodle.
Right. Out there doodling.
A minute or so in your fish room, Sharpie. I doubt it.
Where's Sharpie located?
UK.
UK. All right.
Kind of.
It's really weird.
Word to start.
It was like in 2019, it was on my calendar to go to the UK in 2021, but clearly
Some
things
shit got in the way.
Something got in the way of that.
Downstairs with a mouthful and put the baby down. Wrong chord. Clean the earth surrounding and cause the warmth to drown. And introduce to every soul a drink made of tears. Hear them bigger, watch them cry, impaled on balsa spears. And looking in the morning, the streets are flooded out. I don't remember the chords to that bit. So, should probably practice before we go on playing to other people.
What's the bit about the future?
Well, no, that was wrong. Well, the future is diminished by what today we did. We wetted warmth and killed it, and in the water hid. Oh, the future is diminished by what today we did. We wetted warmth and killed it, and in the water hid.
Anyone know that song?
I don't know that one.
It's very nice. It's by Bonnie Prince Billy, who is Will Oldham from Palace Brothers.
I've always had the opinion that song entirely came around the fact that they used a diminished chord and they wanted to tie the diminished chord with the diminished word, and then they built the song around that.
It's what always makes me happiest, playing and singing the song. When I sing that bit, it makes me feel so happy, so fitted. And
yeah, I was listening to some music theory the other day and realized just like how far I've gotten from working on any music stuff, really. It's just like, oh man, I don't even know how well I remember chord progression and stuff. Just like, oh, tectonic thirds, or wait, it's like, oh my god.
I think Regurgitator said it best when they said music is maths.
It is maths. Yep.
Was that yes in response to GRB's question? Yes, GRB. Sarah said yes.
He does have one that's that. Anyway, there may be other.
The Darkness, actually. There's a band I haven't heard in a long time.
Oh yeah,
weren't they a flash in the pan for a bit?
Yeah, they were big time for a little while.
They're pretty good too. I like their music. I think they did 2 records, didn't they?
I think so. I think that was about it. I think they were a little too over the top. For
well, they came along. I think they came along at the right time when people needed that kind of stuff. And then I
think they were a little too over the top, like extracurricular activities.
Gotcha. Right.
It's hard to maintain that pace,
Yeah, and then Wolf Mother came along and milked that 70s sound as well.
That's right. It's kind of fun when the 70s comes back for a little bit, I mean, you don't want to dive too deep, but it's nice when you get a little dip the toes,
Do you remember how that one goes? Shall we let you belt into that one as well? Do you know the words to that?
Don't know.
because that's
I
always.
can only find out if I sing it.
Righto, yeah, it's a lovely song. I love that one, especially when you do it. Yazzle.
It's called away. Night Wish. Oh man, I haven't thought about Night Wish in a while.
Leave me find every single wall has cracked, but in this life you can't turn back. I don't wanna live. I don't wanna live here alone. Maybe I don't think that was the right bit actually. I don't remember anything, so that makes it hard. Hard.
Oh yeah. I've really got myself in a situation where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what I recall, but I've started working on some stuff, and I don't even want to talk about it right now. It's so far from even being talking about it, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm awful. But I think I'm gonna go take piano classes with Olivia when she's a little bit older. I think when she's like probably 4, I think. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if there's a good tutor out here.
Like, you're going to learn together, or you're just going to get her to learn?
Well, I'll get her to learn and me to remember stuff I've forgotten, you know. Muscle memory. See how well muscle memory kicks in. Terry's wondering if Corey get his new fish room all finished up yet. Corey releases videos about his fish room on a very consistent basis. So whatever he's released, that's what's up. I think the Aquarium Co-op does a pretty good job of releasing content for you guys. So, as far as I know, stuff is running, you know. So I'm back working on the warehouse again. So fixing stuff there. Stuff has been getting broken. Stuff that's been getting broken over the last couple months is getting fixed by the dirty guy here. The guy that's got the dirt on him. But the problem is, like, I don't necessarily want to talk about Corey's projects if he hasn't released a video about it. You know what I mean? Like, if he hasn't put a video out about it, I don't want to accidentally be like talking about something that he's like, oh, that's coming out in a video in a week or something. You know what I mean? So I don't want to step on his toes. And let's be honest here, he's got a huge following, and there's a lot of people following it. You know what I mean? So he's gonna do a good job, and him and Jimmy, they do a great job. So yeah, I don't want to spoiler alert the Aquarium Co-op. I don't mind being the spoiler alert on Star Wars because it came out 5 days ago or whatever.
It's matters less I loved. So lies around us in the evening. By the morning I'll be gone. When everything is lonely, I can be my own best friend. I grab a coffee and a paper, have my own conversations. With the sidewalk and the pigeons and my window reflection. The mask I polish in the evening, by the morning looks like shit. And I know Don't know where that goes actually. Is it D minor? No.
A, F maybe.
For every heart I can feel it when we kiss. And many men stronger than me have thrown their backs out trying to lift it well me. I'm not a gamble, you can count on me to quit. The love I sell you in the evening by the morning won't exist. You're looking skinny like a model with your eyes all painted black. You just keep going to the bathroom, always say you'll be right back. Well, it takes one to know one, kid, I think you got it bad. 'Cause what is easy in the evening, by the morning such a drag. I've got a flask inside my pocket, we can share it on the train. And if you promise to stay conscious, I will try and do the same. We might die from medication, but we sure killed all the pain. 'Cause what seems normal in the evening, by the morning looks insane. And I'm not sure what the trouble was that started all of this. The reasons all went away, but the feeling never did. Well, it's not something I would recommend, but it is one way to live. 'Cause what is simple in the evening, by the morning never is.
Who's that one by?
Right, I think it's by Bright Eyes or
Eyes.
Connor Oberhurst. I'm not sure which, if he did it only with his Bright Eyes, under his Bright Eyes thing or separately.
What were you throwing spoilers out for?
Oh, people were asking about it, Corey's fish room and stuff, and I was just saying, like, I don't want to accidentally spoil content that is coming out, you know, because I'm like, they put out a lot of content, so I'm sure whatever he wants out there, he'll have put it in a video, you know. I don't want to be the guy who's accidentally like, hey, there's this thing that's really cool, and he'll be like, dude, don't talk about that. It was gonna be in a video in like 2 weeks, you know, or something like that. You know, it's like, sorry, bro. It's why I don't film anything. It's why I don't film anything there anymore, because I don't want to be the guy who accidentally is like, oh, look at this thing, you know, and it's like, dude, that was gonna be in a video. Now it's in your video on your YouTube channel that's tiny. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to eat your mate's lunch, as it were, or cut your mate's grass, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's one of those things. Because I know a lot of people are like, man, why don't you film the stuff that you're doing up there? And I'm like, I mean, technically Corey's like, yeah, it's all good, but also at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. It just feels weird. I don't know. It feels weird to me. So.
Yeah, you can film stuff as long as you release the video 6 weeks after I release mine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could film like little shorts and stuff like that of things that I know. I was doing that for a little bit, but then it also felt super weird to be like filming somebody else's fish stuff and being like posting that. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird vibe. It's weird vibes, man. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't get along with all of Corey's followers, you know, like all of his fans or followers. I don't know. What do you call them? I think he has a name for them. I don't remember what it is, but I don't necessarily get along with them all. We tried that. We did a podcast for like a year. And Mixed response, I guess. Sharpies was saying earlier, and I missed the comment, but I read it while you were singing, Scungy. You haven't been around. Where did it go? I don't want to accidentally misquote you. Haven't been around, kind of been battling the darkness and demons and whatnot. I'm paraphrasing now. But I totally understand that, man. Sometimes you just got to take a break and be alone for a little while. But you know, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I've totally been there. You know, so I can commiserate. And congrats on the 7 years clean, 19 years drink, and 10 years of other substances. Sharpie's got 10 years clean and sober. That's awesome. Yeah, I think Corey and I both really liked doing the real fish talk. We definitely enjoyed it. It was unfortunately one of those kind of like it was more of a business decision than like, hey, do we want to still do it? And I think realistically, we both, like, as buddies, like, really enjoyed the fact where it was like, oh man, we get a couple 3-4 hours a week to like hang out and chat about stuff. The unfortunate part is that we could never get it to work with he and I remotely and have it like work at the same time. So we were always doing it in person. And at the time, we legitimately had to make the business decision that it was screwing up a whole day midweek of Corey working, basically, is what it boiled down to. And Jimmy, you know, so it was me, Jimmy, and Corey, and we're all like not working on anything other than just doing the real fish talk. And I believe like when we made the decision, it was like each episode that we did, we were maybe getting like 5,000 or 6,000 views or something like that. And it was 5,000 or 6,000 views when we started doing it at the beginning of the year. So it was basically like the same people were watching it by the end of the year. And it was just kind of like, yeah, this isn't growing. And the unfortunate part is for Corey, like you really have to make, as an owner of a business, you have to make that decision and go like, is this something we should continue to invest our time in? And if it's not growing like that, then you just have to make that business decision and go like, look, we should just work these days. And that's basically what we had to do. Terry says, I still have the one y'all did with Gary Lang. Not sure if you did more than one with Gary. I really liked when we had a guest there like Gary, that's just so informational and stuff. And we wanted our format was to get guests like that to come on. And I will tell you guys, it is like, it's more difficult than pulling teeth. I mean, pulling teeth is underestimates. Trying to get people to come onto a podcast is like, it's insane. I don't know why people never wanted to do it.
Guests that can be beneficial and have knowledge and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we could have got random people off the street to come in and talk, but they didn't really contribute too much. But we had a lot of people that they would do the like, yeah, for sure, I'll fly out and come do the show and blah blah blah. But they just never did. You know, even
so that doesn't run anymore.
The Real Fish Talk?
Yeah.
Oh no, we stopped doing that like 2 years ago, I think, maybe.
That would explain why I haven't seen an episode for quite some time.
Well, yeah. You and I do a show now. We do a show on Tuesday American time, Wednesday Australia time, whatever time it is right now. I have no idea.
Well, one day we might build to 5,000 viewers.
Why not? That's fine.
We just have to branch out and talk about more things and play more songs and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like I think Gary Lang would be a perfect example of the kind of people I want to go fly out and do short documentary stuff on. And that's like, it's a big part of what I'm working on behind the scenes right now is like I'm basically making short documentaries about nothing to practice. It's a big part of like what I'm doing. Like I put everything into my backpack and then go over there, just across my yard, and then set up and shoot a little documentary about nothing. And like mic myself and all that kind of stuff and figure out the kind of shots that I want and stuff. Obviously it's not anything anyone's ever gonna see, but it's just doing stuff like that to just get better and better at like how I go out and I document, like so.
Joel G and
but
TPS
Gary would be like a perfect guy that I could fly out to his place, shoot a little documentary over 2 days, do some interviews with him, like film some stuff, because I've gone out and I've done stuff like, you fly to Europe and then you go to somebody's fish place and you're there for 2 hours and that's it. And you try to like make that into a video that, you're going to like try to put that out. And it just, for me, they don't come out very good. It just doesn't come out as a good product. So I'm just trying to figure out how to do that and be good at it and figure out like how to do that, or just completely change gears and go like, look, I'm going to fly somewhere and like hang out with somebody like Gary, like Tazawa Tanks, like Aqua Pros, like, it's whoever. I mean, you just name whoever, like Simply Beta, like go out to Idaho to Simply Beta's house for a couple days, hang out with her family, film some stuff, do some interviews, that kind of stuff, and then make it into an actual piece that would be interesting to. My goal is to make stuff that's interesting to people that aren't interested in fish tanks, basically.
Yeah, it's a good goal. I watched all of your Euro videos that you did when you were over there, and I quite enjoyed them, but I can certainly understand, knowing you how well that I know you now, I can understand how you'd be dissatisfied with, that it wasn't as cinematic and as quality as you'd probably prefer.
Yeah, or, even just to the point of like also having a real solid story, right? Yeah. Of like what this is about and like what the middle of the story and then the conclusion is, Yeah,
and you need at least that 2 hours for your pre-production before you even start filming, let alone 2 hours for the whole process.
Yeah, and it's just it turns into that thing where it's like those videos that I was making, they're interesting to people that are interested in fish, right? And they're like people that are just diehard fish people are like, oh, it was really cool. Like, oh, that was really cool, like I liked it, and it's like, but the reality is it never hits, it never hits those people that are like, I'm uninterested in this. Like, this isn't something I even care about at all. Those people just like, okay, I'm gonna watch something else now. What's Cardi B doing? Whatever. It doesn't.
Don't know if any of my background noise is coming through, but I've got a son out in the shed using the table saw, and I've got some awesome machinery over the paddock that's been running for about 2 or 3 days that just has the most amazing bass note. It's like someone's just got a subwoofer on.
You can hear a slight whirring, that high-pitched whirring. You can hear that like a little bit from. See, like it's stopped now.
That'll be the that's the table saw.
Yeah, so you can hear that like a little bit, but it's not bad. I think it's doing a pretty good job of compressing the background.
Very good. What's up? All right, righto. Wash your hands. Fatherly advice. I'm sure he said they're going to get food, didn't he? I'm sure that's what he said. Going to get food, and they're completely filthy. So they better wash their hands or they'll get sick.
What do you guys call like a camper trailer? You guys call it a caravan, or what do you guys call it?
Yes. They're caravans down here.
Yeah, so that's like one of those things that that's like one of the components that we've been working on. Like we bought a secondhand caravan from my cousin. So good family deal.
You're talking about you and Vicky.
Yeah. So that we'll be able to like hopefully hit the road and do some of that documentary type stuff that I want to do, because it's I don't know about you guys, but it's extraordinarily difficult to go when you fly somewhere and you're like you crash in a hotel room for the night. It's totally awkward. Yeah, I mean, you're getting everything out of a suitcase and you're trying to figure out what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you got to run over here for an hour and a half, and then and then everybody's like, well, we're gonna go eat ice cream, or oh, now we're gonna go to the barbecue place and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, and it's like you may be shooting somebody's fish room for 40 minutes. You sort of introduce yourself to them, kind of talk to them for a minute, and then you spend 6 hours like going around their town eating food and doing whatever. It's a good point. You don't bring a blacklight into anything, by the way, unless you really want to know. Unless you really want to do some what do you call that? Forensic investigating, right?
Yes, if you want to maintain some semblance of sanity, you leave the blacklight at home.
You should leave the blacklight at home, my friends.
That's a good name for a song.
That's true. So, all right, Bad Batch. What do you think? What are your thoughts here? I think we're like 5 episodes in.
5 episodes in, still loving it. It's good stuff. I like it a lot.
I have to admit, I am loving it. Okay, let's get that clear so that everybody knows. I'm loving it. It's quite good. It's well done. The animation is good enough. It takes you out. Right. I don't know if you notice that. It sort of takes you away from it being animated. Does that happen to you? You kind of just forget that it's animated after the first minute.
I've had that impression with the Clone Wars for the last, say, seasons 5, 6, and 7, that you almost don't know you're in animation until you see a human face. Because the textures and the models and everything are just so realistic. It is ridiculous.
The voice acting is so well done.
You can leave it out here, I reckon. Say that again.
Like the voice acting and the sound production in it is so well done.
Yeah,
it's so well done that the visuals of it, like the early Clone Wars stuff, was kind of janky. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, whoa, hey now, like, are you sure you guys even maybe spend a couple more weeks on here rendering this out a little better, But I mean, nowadays it just takes you right out, like, and the immersion's really good, and they're able to do a bunch of weird stuff that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do with live action. Like all the crazy modeling and aliens and stuff, I think are probably easier to do.
Good storyline.
The storyline seems to be working. I just the big criticism I have right now is we're kind of deep in the filler episodes. I mean, I kind of refer to them as filler episodes where it's just like, oh, we crash over here, then we fix the ship, and then we leave, and that's the episode.
Well, I don't necessarily like that term, filler episodes, because even though they may not be as crucial to the storyline as certain other episodes, they're still advancing the plot. We're still moving forwards. We're still learning about the characters and whatnot.
Right. Well, the reason I say that is because you got like a 22-minute episode where the grand pull back the curtain is that the Bad Batch finds out, or what are they, 99? What are they called? I forget.
99.
They find out that it's Fennec the Fox. That's basically the big.
Fennec
that's the big, like,
Fennec
like,
Shand, let's call her for argument's sake.
I like Fennec the Fox better. It's better. but you find that
Her
that's
ears
the big
aren't big enough.
well, that's the big reveal. And I'm like, I mean, you very well could have smushed 2 22-minute episodes together and made, I think, something that's much more substantive. Because I think everybody would be totally happy with 8 45-minute episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's probably right.
No one would complain. No, I mean, no one in their right mind would complain. But if you have 11 episodes and a bunch of them are these like 20-minute, like, oh, we were over here and a thing, and then and then that's the end. You know, you're like, it's really hard to sit down on a Friday and go like, oh, waited all week. I'm gonna watch my show, and it's 20 minutes long. You know, like that doesn't. Just as a viewer person guy, right? I'm just like, that's just not enough content for me to go like, all right, I watched my stories for Friday and now I go to bed. And I go to bed happy, and then I'll be back next week, you know.
G'day, Jesse.
Because, and I will say, personally, here's what happened to me. Okay. That episode was so short that I was like, I'm going to have to watch something else now because it was 22 minutes long, right? And I sat down at like 8:30 on the Friday night, and boy, you got to know how much of a wild party animal I am. It's 8:30. I'm getting done with my day, and I got to watch my stories. Getting my recliner, turn on the 83-inch TV. Thing's ridiculous. And the episode was 22 minutes long, and then I'm like, well, I can't go to bed at 8:55. That's too old. I'm not that old. So I'm like,
better go back and watch some Dawson's Creek.
I better watch some of the Dawson.
Well, my
so I ended up watching the what is the Army of the Dead or whatever, the new zombie movie where they replaced
watch that.
Where they replaced Chris D'Elia with Tig Notaro. And I got to tell you, that movie was 2.5 hours of wasted time. I should have just gone to sleep. I should have just gone to sleep.
You're not selling it to me well to watch, to review next week on this show, then, are you?
It is a dumpster fire. That movie sucks. It is awful. What a waste of time.
Damn, I just want to watch it now. Just
so stupid. You better watch
how terrible it is.
You better watch it so that we can just trash it because it is garbage. It's so dumb. All right.
Yeah, I'll put it on my to-do list so we can talk about it next week.
The Tig Notaro, the Tig Notaro reshoot parts, you will literally notice. Like, I mean, they might as well have just done like clack, beep, 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 and then like had it like come in. Like, oh, and here's the part where this person is talking now. Oh, and then we go back to the movie.
I did.
I mean, it just
on his on D'Elia's latest edition of his pardon me podcast. I think he made mention about movies and being dropped from movies. It was very subtle in a Chris D'Elia style.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just was legitimately like, oh my God, what a dumb, wasted. Yeah, Zip Gun is a good point. So much wasted potential. I don't even know what the budget was for that movie. It was a lot of money. I mean, you get not the biggest stars in the world or anything like that, but you got Dave Bautista. They had a giant CGI budget. I mean, they CGI'd Las Vegas.
Well, it's Zack Snyder too, and for some reason that kid just commands a massive budget for some reason.
Yeah,
he's going to get a bad reputation, I reckon, if he keeps putting out shit.
Well, it's the weird thing. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I love that movie," and I'm just like, "Oh my God, your brain is broken."
Well, yeah, lots of people were like that about the 4-hour version of Justice League as well. It's like, fuck, give me those 4 hours of my life back, thanks.
Right. Yeah, the same movie, just longer.
I never even saw the first one, so I can't compare them. But it's like, Jesus, It's so
I saw
excessive.
the first one, and it really just solidified in my mind that DC sucks compared to Marvel. You know,
in regards to the way they make the films, or just in
DC
general.
I got to admit, I'm a Marvel guy. I mean, I'm an Image Comics guy. I'm a Dark Horse Comics guy. I've always liked Marvel more, you know, but
Yeah, I've never really had a preference
DC just doesn't have the depth of character for me, realistically, unless you get into these like crazy spin-off versions of the comic, you know what I mean? Like that always pissed me off when it's like, oh, here's the other Superman now, and then it's like all these like divergent multiverse, Superman this, Superman going over here, Superman always just saves the day.
G'day Kragos and g'day BDA and indoor fishing inside. Seems Kragos and indoor fishing and BDA just finished their orgy. So now they're available.
They just came busting in,
breaking doors down, not giving us stuff.
Going wild. It's not bad.
But yeah, I don't know how we digressed, but back to the Bad Batch. Did I mention, by the way, that I'm on limited time today because I have a driving obligation in about.
I'm on limited time today because I'm going to fall asleep. Yeah,
only 3 hours. Crikey. But yeah, it was a great misdirect. Was the child that they were hunting that they had to save?
Well, that was funny because that's going to tie in. That's the one that Luke kills later.
It's not though.
No.
I know. I believe that they deliberately implanted a juvenile rancor in this episode to encourage the fans to go out of their way to, assume that it is the one that gets killed by Luke in Return of the Jedi. But I have it under good authority that the Rancor that Luke killed in Return of the Jedi was called Patisa, not Moochie. So unless Jabba and the Rancor Keeper changed its name, potentially Moochie might have been in Jabba's Rancor breeding program, because once all of the rogues around the galaxy saw that Jabba had Rancors, of course everyone wanted one. So I'm assuming Jabba started up a Rancor breeding program, and he only wanted the best, and Moochie was potentially the best male to start breeding Rancors from. But yeah, that was it was certainly gold to see the Star Wars fandom light up, saying, "Oh, it must be the Rancor that Luke killed," and the timing was certainly right. But yeah, according to
I guess we're all just a bunch of
Wikipedia.
Yeah. So it's obviously a different one, but at least there's a tie-in, so that's good.
I wanted to believe that as well myself, and I was convinced until I overheard a discussion between some people talking about that the one in Return of the Jedi also had already been assigned a name in Star Wars canon, and it certainly wasn't Moochie.
So it's not Moochie, but maybe it's a relative or something. Who knows?
Potentially offspring, depending on how long it takes a Rancor to get, 27 feet tall and covered in warts.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, how long does that take? We don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe the Rancor needs a spin-off series of its own.
What's your theory on Omega? What do you got? You think she's like force sensitive or something?
No, I don't think so, because I think there's people slinging around that because she's got the lighter colored hair, that potentially she's got a little bit of Palpatine's DNA inside of her. But I just think I'm still going down the empath avenue that she senses stuff and she can pick stuff up pretty quick. But I'm not convinced that she's going to be force sensitive.
But I think that would make you just like you're like the minimally force sensitive, right?
Yeah,
I
potentially.
remember I was listening to the Some Fish for Fish is asking about the subway in Australia. You have to watch some of our older episodes. We hit subway in Australia, I think last week or maybe the week before.
Yeah, it was definitely recently we talked about them because I remember making my comments about how much I hate the smell of the subway shops.
It's so gross. It's disgusting.
But I was makes me want to go and get a cabbage and just eat it raw.
Yeah, I was listening to one of the Star Wars fan podcasts, like kind of breakdowns, because I know a lot of people hate the midichlorian count or whatever, but it was kind of a good way to sort of solidify, like how people kind of hit tiered, you know, how they hit like maybe you're force sensitive, but you're not enough to be using the force, right? Which sort of just like kind of categorize those species that were sort of like that, like they're empathic or intuitive and sort of like they don't have enough ability in the force, but it's aiding them in their kind of day-to-day interaction. So maybe like Han Solo would be a good example of like, you know, he wasn't able to use the force, but maybe he was like at some kind of force sensitivity, which made him a better pilot, which made him more like intuitive to be able to like not get shot and shoot people first and that kind of stuff. You know, to sort of categorize those characters in Star Wars of like, why are they able to do whatever they're able to do? So I think that
they dived into that in the Phantom Menace, the first of the prequel movies, when they were measuring Anakin's blood and they were talking about the amount of midichlorians in the blood, and you know they sort of indicated then that there was a scale of if you've got this many midichlorians, you must be awesome, and if you don't, you're potentially a little bit less awesome than that other dude. So there's definitely a sliding scale with the force sensitivity based on the midichlorians in your blood and that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, Sharpies. We I think we touched on the sugared bread last week as well that Subway provides.
We talked about that. It's dessert sandwiches.
Dessert sandwiches. That's right. I was trying to fetch the term from my memory, but I'm glad you remembered it. The dessert witch.
Yeah, you will end up with the diabetes, like on my microphone here. Diabetes.
Who's the dude in the picture? Is it Einstein or is it Stanley Kubrick?
That's Wilford Brimley.
Brimley, of course.
Yeah. He did these commercials in the States. I don't know. I doubt they aired in Australia. But he did these commercials for decades, where he'd come on and he would talk about shredded wheat. I don't know do you have shredded wheat cereal down there?
Not by that name. I think we have it by a different name, but
yeah, I mean shredded wheat's like the generic.
Scungy disagrees. We do have
They're like big biscuits of strings of wheat or something.
Yeah, it's just the saddest old man cereal. You know, it has like no flavor. It's like cardboard strings, and they're somehow made into a brick, and then you throw it in a bowl and you put milk on it. You know, and you just old man your way through it. You know, you're just grumpy in the morning. I ate my shredded wheat. But he would do these commercials like, well, the shredded wheat, you know, it's going to help keep you regular and blah, 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 blah. And he would always talk about diabetes. Like it was like one of the things to battle diabetes. I don't even know how they got Wilford Brimley to do all these commercials, but it was always him just like, well, you know, you got to think about diabetes, and diabetes is important to think about. And he always said it, instead of saying diabetes, He always said diabetes, and it's just the funniest damn thing.
I think that is I think it's an acceptable. G'day, Nola Jane, by the way. I think it's an acceptable pronunciation over there, isn't it? But potentially also his Ewok money might have run out by the time he decided to do those ads.
I mean, people would know what you were saying technically, but it's not. It's not an acceptable pronunciation, you know. Like people can understand Arnold Schwarzenegger when he talks, right? But there's no way that people are like, oh yeah, that's just an accent that's totally normal, right? Like, yeah. But there are a lot of Americans that are just strictly from America that have that same sort of affectation where you're like, that is an insane accent that you have right now. Like, I mean, I still get what you're saying, but it's out there. But like, Wilford Brimley had the, what do you call it? The Atlantic accent. Like almost everything was pronounced just the traditional Atlantic accent. The actor, you know, basically the actor accent, and then he would say diabetes, and it just was. I don't know, man. My generation, the people that are around my age, they're just like, you say diabetes to them, and they know they know exactly what you're saying. It's like, it just conjures Wilford Brimley to your mind.
Yeah, I always thought it was like an old Cajun pronunciation or something, because it always seemed like elderly black folk that were saying it.
That's possible.
Shit, am I going to get cancelled because I said elderly black folk?
I don't think so. I mean, no. elderly black folk from the South have a pretty strong accent. I mean, they have a specific accent.
Nearly all of them say that, but I'm generalizing, and you know, you can't generalize anymore without getting cancelled.
Not Nola Jane has a good point. Can you say aluminum?
Aluminium.
How do you get aluminum from the spelling of?
I think Americans have eliminated the second I from the word, so it is just NUM at the end, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Aluminum. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think they've eliminated the second I to justify their pronunciation of it.
Yeah, we do that, like color. You know, there's no U in there.
We say it wrong, so we'll take a letter out. But you know, those words. I don't tend to have a problem with those words where you eliminate the U from, because they make sense.
Does it?
Well, yeah, because if I say color, I'm not saying color.
Color, yeah.
That's a drink, and it's spelled completely different. But
it's spelled wildly different.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to accept those U removals, but aluminium is aluminium, not aluminum. You guys are bloody way off the mark there.
Where was aluminum discovered? Let's see. The discovery of aluminum.
I'm going to guess in England or Europe somewhere, certainly not America. I'm going to also disappear for a second while we wait for those answers.
Oh, we got 1825.
Where?
Oh man. I think I have a dog in this fight. A pure form of the metal was first successfully extracted from ore in 1825 by Danish chemist Hans Christian. Which I would remind you people that I am of Danish descent, hence my last name. Techniques to produce aluminum in ways modestly cost-effective emerged in 1889. This lightweight, 100% recyclable metal has since become a foundation of our country's infrastructure. Let's see. So he was Danish. Danish chemist. So I think it was discovered in Denmark. Yeah, 1825 in Denmark. It doesn't say where he was. Let's see. Danish chemist Hans Christian. I'm probably related to this guy.
That's a standard answer for everything, Nola. Cause America. Not everything. Lots of things I should have said. I'm terrible with my generalizations.
Yeah, this guy's probably like my great grandpa or something.
Why is he? Does he share the name with you?
Yeah, same root name from my great grandpa Magnus, who came to the U.S. right after this guy died. He died in 1851. The discoverer, or I guess the guy who figured out aluminum in 1825, was a Danish physicist and chemist named Hans Christian.
Not Hans Christian Andersen.
Oh, Hans Christian Ørsted. Ørsted, apparently, is his third name. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it was a Danish guy. So,
well, I did say Euro.
I'll use my. You said the UK.
Now it's your turn. You're going to have to watch the replay because I said in the UK or Europe, I believe I said.
Oh, you throw the or Europe, so yeah. I mean, then you've
always got to have a stopgap.
Yeah, that's true. I appreciate it. So yeah, I wouldn't have guessed 1825. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed some other number. I wouldn't have been in there.
I would have guessed more recently. Would you have guessed older?
I think I would have guessed older. I think I would have guessed 1700s, but yeah, I mean, who knows? I would have been wrong either way, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Hans Christian Ørsted, acknowledged as the first to isolate aluminum in 1825 in Copenhagen, Denmark. The eminent German chemist Friedrich Wöhler is generally regarded as the first to blah, blah, blah. Secure a pure sample.
Scungy also raises an interesting point. Did they call it aluminium when they first found it? Is that what you were meaning?
Well, yeah, I thought
aluminum, right there.
With the start
ALUMINUM. Aluminum.
But just because it's written like that in the article doesn't necessarily mean
that
article about the guy who discovered it.
G'day, Casval and Aquamate. How are you? Casval's got a question for you, Joel, because I can't answer that.
Casval says, "Hey guys, how to calculate how many bags of Eco Complete do you need for a tank?" So, Casval, I have a fluorite versus Eco.
So, according to this tiny thing
I have a.
It's only accepted spelling in North America, and the rest of the world says aluminium.
There you go.
The rest of the world says aluminium.
That's what it says.
Well, she's saying accepted spelling. That's definitely not necessarily hand in hand with pronunciation.
So the Chinese say aluminium?
No, they say Ningdongwa.
Okay, so the Indians.
The Thai people. Sorry, Thai.
So the Indians say aluminium.
Now you're being fastidious.
So the Africans, like all of the African continent, says aluminium. Yeah, see, we got to remember, we got to think about South America. All the Brazilians, did they say aluminium? I don't know. Kesval was asking about how to figure out the Eco Complete. So I have a video. If you look up on my channel, it's Fluval stratum versus fluorite, I believe. So fluorite and Eco Complete come out to be the same volume when you dump the bag out. It's very deceptive because it's heavier than the aqua soil, and they're generally, the volcanic stuff is sold by the poundage, right? And the aqua soil is sold by volume liters, right? And essentially, the volcanic stuff is half the volume that a bag of aqua soil is. So a 9-liter bag is equivalent to basically 4.5 liters, 4.5 liters of volcanic based stuff. So EcoComplete, fluorite, all those volcanic based aqua soils will be about half the volume of a 9-liter. So each bag is about 4 liters. So if you can figure out that volume measurement within your tank, which is actually pretty simple, you just inch by inch or centimeters or however you want to do it.
I think when you're measuring liters, centimeters is more sensible.
Well, either way, you can do whatever you want. 4 liters is a gallon, so whatever. Or wait, is that right? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
3.8 something.
Yeah.
3.83, I think.
Yeah, just round to 4 because who cares?
Close enough.
But yeah, and you could just figure out that little space of volume, and then just go like, oh, okay, I need 3 for this, or 6 for that, or 2 or 1. One of the issues I have with the volcanic based stuff is just how many bags you have to get nowadays to do any kind of sizable tank.
Yeah.
But it's fairly easy to think how much the area of volume is going to take up, because if you have like a milk jug, so I don't know what size your milk jugs are there, because here they'd be a gallon, which is like 3.8 liters as we just discussed, or a half gallon.
Most milk we have is 1 liter, 2 liters, or 3 liters is our biggest.
Okay, so our biggest one, it would be like basically 4 liters, and so that's 1 gallon. So what you could do is probably take a 2-liter carton or a 1-liter carton and drop those in there. So if you don't really want to do the math, right, if that's going to freak you out to try and do the math, you could visually do it with a carton that holds the amount that we're talking about. So you could do it that way. And that's kind of a simple way that most people would have access to, is figure out some kind of liter container, and then you could put it in there and just count like, oh, it's going to take this many to fit in there. Yeah.
A bit of math can save you a lot of money.
Wouldn't it just still be easier to do the math?
Some people just don't have mathematical brains. The easiest and most simple of ratios and sums and stuff can send them asunder mentally.
Oh, there you go. Aquamate saying play Tetris.
You just take a couple of measurements and then use a calculator.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would normally do. But, the doctor over there was complaining that that's hard to do. I was like, well, you could go get a milk thing and waggle it around in there, and then you guesstimate based on how many little containers you have.
Well, I don't want to deny anyone the fun of waggling something about in there.
Good point.
No one needs to be denied that fun and pleasure. Yeah, well, that's a good point too, Aquamate. You can put some rocks and stuff in around your where you're going to be putting your aqua soil and save some space, save a few bucks, I guess.
Has a tendency to settle out, but yeah, true. You can take up volume with some rocks, some rockage. All right, man.
Yeah, I liked
I got 930 here.
I like Jane's idea of just eyeballing it. Just use
you
your
just
eyes.
Eyeball it. Yeah, you could just eyeball it. That's fine.
So where did we get to with Bad Batch? Good episode, good outcome. We didn't see Crosshair, unfortunately, so that story's definitely going to develop next episode, I would imagine.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening there. I would say Crosshair's probably going to have some kind of weird mental break. I would expect.
Is there speculation that Crosshair may be potentially the prototype for the what are they called? Death Troopers. The stormtroopers all in black, maybe.
I think we saw the first version of them, right? When they
Well, we had the four trainee people that were the
we had
advanced.
we had the trainees, but I think it was wasn't it because wasn't it the real life troopers shot the clones, right? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on that a little bit. I was just too busy thinking that Crosshair is going to have the mental break because of all of the kind of atrocious things they're having him do. Like I think they put in the precursor that he's going to have a overpower of conscience would be my guess. There's going to be some kind of flashbacky thing of his youth or something is going to be the deal. And then I think what's his name? Ricker
with the headache
is going to be overpowered by the chip. I think the chip is going to have him freak out and try to order 66.
Whoever the first Jedi is they come across.
Mm-hmm. I think something like that is going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're going to have to figure out how to break the chip. And I think that's going to motivate them to try and save Crosshair. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I think the general consensus is that when the tech guy, what's he called?
Tech? Yeah.
When by the time he develops his chip scanning device that he's working on, that's when Wrecker's going to go nuts. And then they'll sort out Wrecker, and then they'll work out how to sort out Crosshair. But I'm not sure if Crosshair is going to come back to the fold. I think he might already be lost because of the things that have been done to him.
Well, I think
anyway,
I think that's going to be the twist. I think Wrecker is going to end up dying.
Yeah.
And Crosshair is going to end up needing the redemption arc. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's my.
Is that my book?
Yeah.
If I had to guess, that's what I'm guessing on. I'm guessing that Wrecker's going to die, and Crosshair is going to have the redemption arc. Yeah,
I kind of agree with that. I think that someone's got to perish out of the 6 of them.
That's awesome.
It's quite difficult to show silvery stuff on black paper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured since I'm going to have to bail real soon that we should probably chuck up some of Scungy's art from today.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Another silvery one. We're also driving up to Brisbane on Tuesday next week. Sarah's entered her artwork in a gallery competition. So we've got to actually physically go up to Brisbane and drop the piece of art off next week.
Yeah.
And then continue to look for more gallery projects to engage in. Oh yeah, that gold reacts with the light as well. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you Instagram users, jump onto Scunge Princess's Instagram as well. She's got almost daily pictures popping up on there.
Try to do daily.
Definitely worth a look.
Have that one too.
I believe Aquamate has a premiere coming up this afternoon as well. Aquamate being in the chat. Might want to drop some info about that in the chat as well. There's a really do always have a tendency to enjoy your simple black and white line work. I'll do that and that, and then that. Oh, nice one. Thank you, Joshua.
I think that's all that's worth showing. You could show that one. I had lots of...
My internet is going dodgy again.
Yeah, your internet's going crazy.
It's been so nuts the last 2 weeks. On and off, in and out, all that kind of stuff.
I don't know if I did any others.
In and out, up and down, all around.
Yeah, lots of it.
Put it down if you want.
Yeah, it's been very, 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 very inconsistent the last set of 7, and so.
That's sorted.
I don't know. That's Scungy's work from today. So yes, I will watch. What is it? Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead.
Zombie movie, whatever it is. Army of the Dead, something like that. I don't know.
Army of the Dead. That's it. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead was years ago, wasn't it? I'll even though you've toileted it, I'll sit through that this week so we can trash it next week. $200 to do 3-inch deep. Yeah, might want to either just fork out the money, Casval, or deal with it. Under the bench, bluey green looking thing. Oh, I got to take it out in a minute.
Bluey green.
Oh, he's my son looking for a dustpan. So I'm actually really surprised that he's cleaning up his mess that he's made.
He's actually going for it, huh?
Yeah, he decided that a chainsaw wasn't good enough to chop up this large piece of wood that he had, so he's using the table saw instead, or drop saw, whatever you want to call it.
That's funny.
All right, so we might pull the pin there, shall we?
All right, buddy. I gotta get going. I'm tired.
You need a sleep catch up, like there's no next Thursday, and I'm very close to having to. My folks are getting their inoculation, vaccination.
Good stuff.
Or first needle anyway. They're doing the double needle as well. So
yep.
If it was me personally, I would have probably split the parents up and done one at a time. But if they both get sick from it, I'm here to help. So yeah, we've got to go and get the first jab tonight. Just realised I hadn't thought of anything for dinner either, so I might have to go and organise that while they're getting stabbed, and go from there. Crikey, I didn't even think about dinner. I'm getting so slack. Might just have to have toasted sangers. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Corvus, thank you for all of your good work that you normally do. I didn't get a message back from Aqua Az about his Wednesday whoopsies, so I don't know if he's got one of them coming out. But keep your eyes out on the Aqua Az channel for Wednesday whoopsies. Aquamate, no doubt. There we go. GRB slung a link for Aquamate's premiere. Get in there, have a bit of a chat while the video's up and going. Aquamate's premieres are normally very entertaining and enjoyable.
Yeah.
Apart from that, look after yourselves, look after each other, and say hi to your mum for me, or stuff like that. I can't say that one. That's someone else's catchphrase, isn't it? Even though he doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. Hey. Bloody hell, just do it. Just say hi to your mum for me.
Yeah, why not? We all got a mom somewhere.
Exactly. Well, somewhere.
Well,
All right, everyone. Thanks heaps. We'll see yous when we's looking at yous.